Stop for a second. What if I told you you're not actually earning what you think you are? Not even close. That $30 an hour job you're proud of? There's a very real chance you're actually making less than someone working minimum wage. Not because your boss is underpaying you, but because you've never been taught how to calculate the real cost of your job. And once you see this number, I promise you, you will never look at your paycheck or your spending the same way again. My name is Ralph, your money guy, and I spend a lot of time breaking down the hidden math behind everyday life, the kind that quietly drains your bank account without you even noticing. And once you see this number, I promise you, you will never look at your paycheck or your spending the same way again. It's Friday evening, around 5:30. You've just wrapped up a long week, not just the official 40 hours, the real kind of week, the kind that drains you mentally, not just physically. You're on your way home. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're on a bus or train. Either way, your body is there, but your mind is gone. Now be honest, the thought of cooking feels impossible. So what do? You grab your phone, open a delivery app, and order something quick. Pizza, burgers, maybe Thai food. By the time you add delivery fees and tip, it's about $40 or $50. You get home, crack open a drink, throw on a show you're barely even watching. And you tell yourself the same thing we all say. I deserve this. I worked hard. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You didn't just spend $45. That one decision is part of a much bigger equation, one that quietly eats away at your income every single week. Because the food, the commute, the work clothes, even the stress that pushed you to order in, they're all costs tied to your job. And when you actually add everything up, you might think you're earning $30 an hour, but in reality, you could be earning closer to $5. Let's break it down. We've all been taught to judge our worth by salary. $60K a year sounds solid. $80K sounds even better. On paper, it looks like progress. But here's the problem. That number only tells you what you make. It tells you nothing about what it costs you to make it. And that's the mistake. In business, revenue means nothing without expenses. If a company makes $1 million but spends $1 million to operate, it's not successful, it's surviving. Yet when it comes to our own lives, we ignore the expenses completely. So let's fix that. Imagine someone earning about $30 an hour. First thing, taxes. Before they even see that money, a big chunk disappears. Now they're closer to maybe $23 or $24 an hour. That's the obvious part. Now let's look at the hidden costs. Getting to work isn't free. Fuel, transport fares, car maintenance, all of that adds up fast over a year. Then there's appearance. Work clothes, shoes, grooming. Looking presentable isn't optional in most jobs. It's expected. Now add convenience spending. Buying lunch because you're too busy to cook. Grabbing coffee just to stay alert. Paying for little shortcuts because your time and energy are already drained. And then there's the biggest one most people ignore. Spending just to cope. The Friday night takeout, the drinks, the impulse purchases, the random "I need a break" expenses. Money spent not because you want to, but because you're tired. Add all of that together, and suddenly that $60K salary doesn't feel like $60K anymore. It might feel closer to half of that. But we're still not done, because money is only one side of the equation. The other side is time. You might officially work 40 hours a week, but how much time does your job actually take from your life? Think about it. Getting ready in the morning, the commute, lunch breaks where you're stuck near work, coming home exhausted, time spent mentally recovering. When you add it all up, that 40-hour job is easily taking 55, maybe even 60 hours of your week. So now do the real calculation. Take what you actually keep, divide it by the total time your job consumes, and that hourly rate you were proud of, it drops fast. That's the reality most people never stop to calculate. And once you see it, it changes how you look at everything. $100 purchase isn't just $100 anymore. If your real hourly rate is $10, that's 10 hours of your life, 10 hours of your energy, your focus, your time. And suddenly, you start asking better questions. Is this actually worth it? That shift alone can change your financial life. It also exposes something most people don't expect. More money doesn't always mean more freedom. Sometimes a higher-paying job comes with higher costs, longer hours, more stress, more spending just to keep up. And in some cases, your real hourly value actually goes down even though your salary goes up. That's the trap. So what's the way out? It's not about quitting everything overnight. It's about becoming more efficient with your life. Start small. Reduce the costs tied to your job. Cut back on unnecessary spending. Look for ways to save time, especially commuting. Even something like working from home a few days a week can give you hours of your life back. Meal prepping can cut both cost and stress. Small changes, but they add up fast. And more importantly, start thinking differently. Stop treating your job just like income. Start treating your life like a business, because it is. Your income is revenue. Your expenses are everything it costs to maintain that income. And your goal? Increase your margin. Not just more money, but more time, more energy, more control. That's real wealth. So here's what I want you to do. This weekend, sit down and run your own numbers. Be honest. Calculate what your job actually costs you in money and in time. Then figure out your real hourly rate. Write it down. Keep it somewhere you'll see it. Because the next time you're about to spend money without thinking, that number will force you to pause. And that pause, that's where better decisions start. We live in a world where people are trading their time too cheaply without even realizing it. Don't be one of them. Take control of the math. Because once you understand the equation, you can finally start changing it. If this made you think differently about money, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Let's keep learning, keep improving, and keep getting smarter with how we move.